Thank you, and once more thanks for inviting us to this conclave. One of the important sectors for us is pharmaceuticals. As you know, India is known for its intellectual property and innovation when it comes to pharmaceutical products. So we are looking at having more of Indian companies coming to South Africa to come and set up manufacturing plants so that it can be able to assist, enhance our skill base, but also ensure that we deal with some of the socio-economic challenges that are facing our country, be it unemployment, poverty, as well as underdevelopment. And the other critical sector for us is mining, where we are looking at mining beneficiation. As you know that our country is endowed with mineral resources, but those mineral resources have not assisted us to basically build our economy, because we end up exporting raw minerals and importing a lot of finished products. So the issue of value adding becomes quite critical for us. Hence, we are looking at that sector being developed, and India becomes one of the critical countries, partners that we can look up to for reliable and consistent investors that can assist us to turn around the situation and ensure that mining beneficiation does ultimately benefit the economy of the country and assist to grow our economy. And the other sector which is also quite critical for us is the manufacturing sector. As you know that we have more of imports than exports when it comes to the manufacturing sector, and we would want to turn around the situation where we can be able to ensure that learning from India, the Make in India campaign becomes quite relevant for us, that we're looking at how do we develop and advance our skills base so that with the unemployment rate that is escalating in our country, we have a high skills shortage, which becomes a contradiction in terms. So we want to turn around the situation and ensure that those that are unemployed become a reservoir by skilling them and ensuring that they become relevant for the economy, so that they can then be able to help us produce goods and services that are needed both locally as well as internationally. And the other one, I think, which is also of critical importance for us is the service sector. India is known for its strength in terms of the service sector. The ease of doing business becomes quite critical for us. How do we respond to the appetite of investors coming to the country? Are we able to provide them the required infrastructure? Are we able to give them reliable transportation mode of moving their goods and services? Are we able to ensure that their investments are quite secured? So those are the things that are quite critical for us, that we should be responding to the needs of an investor. You see, one of the critical areas for us has been to deal with all the bottlenecks that hinders progress when it comes to investments. And we have also responded to the need for us to ensure that even our labor market legislation does also speak to the needs of the investor. But we also need to strike a balance so that you don't have a situation whereby there is exploitation of labor, under the guise of investment. We want an investor that understands that for them to be able to get quality personnel, they need to also ensure that that personnel is properly remunerated. The needs and the labor laws that basically protect both the employer and the employee are respected and upheld, because it's in the interest of both the investor and the employees that there is a level playing field, so that there is less confrontation and animosity in labor relations, but also ensure that we have more people having interest in coming to invest in the country, because the legislative framework of the country is quite friendly to investors. That's why South Africa has, ensured that the issue of the safety of investments by foreigners is something that is protected by our constitution, so that nobody can be able to tamper with those investments. If people want to basically, take their investments and relocate to another country, they are more willing to do that without any fear of losing their investments or their hard-earned, investments. I think the change in government has basically sent quite positive signals to the world over. For any investor, you would need stability in the country, in government. You would need, to have a political will to respond to some of the challenges that the economy of the country is faced with. You would need to ensure that, your message is quite well received by the foreign, by international markets. And I think that's what we are trying to see in the new administration, that it has gone out to say, to send a correct message that, there will be order in the country. It won't be business as usual. Issues of corruption will be tackled head on, and we've seen some of the progress that have been made within a short space of time, which augurs well for international relations. India's currently, within a short space of time, won many friends than enemies because of the type of attitude, the type of response that it gives to some of the concerns that are being raised. We are also preparing a joint ministerial commission, a bilateral engagement between India and South Africa. And one of the things that I think we are also hopeful to see, being resolved is the whole question of resolving the issue of preferential trade agreement between the two countries. And we are hopeful that with the new administration there would be much progress in that particular area, because you would know that our relationship, the relationship between India and South Africa is quite historic. There is, common cultural and economic interests. We are currently celebrating 100 years of Mahatma Gandhi's return from South Africa to India, and the role that he has played to basically sharpen the political, landscape of South African politics, and also the role that India has played in ensuring that South Africa is liberated. We are enjoying freedom today because of the role that India has played, and we are quite proud about our association and the relationship that exists between the two countries. And we are saying that the current administration deserves the support of an ordinary Indian, so that it can be able to realize its long-term vision, but also in the interest of the world. We would also have to support India for the part that is taking in ensuring that world over there is stability, there is economic growth and development, and ensure that issues around piracy, issues around terror attacks are issues that we are all putting our heads together to ensure that they are being resolved.